My friends are my power. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
How's it going, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and nerds everywhere? Welcome back to Nerd Explosion, the weekly podcast where based on a monthly theme and nerd out about whatever we want. I'm Cam.
I'm disappointed in the world.
You know what? Me too. Me too.
We'll have to change our intro because according to the fucking Cheeto in charge, we're all women.
I mean, in the immortal words of Shania Twain, let's go, girls. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of political nonsense going on in the world right now, and, you know, we're not going to get into it on this podcast because that's not what we're about. Not saying that you can't get mad at it because, you know, you have every right to get mad at it.
No, but right at the top, I feel like we should just make it painfully clear that we do believe in basic human rights, and trans rights are human rights.
Just, yeah, right off the bat, we want to say, with everything going on, we want this podcast to be a safe space for everyone, and, you know, whatever injustice you feel like you have out there, you come here, you know, just relax, vibe with us, feel safe, and then pick up your pitchforks and then go back out and fight after you're done listening to us. Yeah, there's a lot of stupid shit going on, which I'm going to use as a segue into today's topic since we're still reading Reddit stuff for the month of January.
Are we talking about stupid shit on Reddit?
We are talking about, well, specifically, I found a question on r/AskReddit, and I'm kind of doing this how r/ does it, where he finds a question and then just the whole episode is reading different replies to it. And the question I'm reading today is, who's the stupidest person you've ever met, and what story perfectly sums up their stupidity?
Yeah.
I figure with everything going on, you know, in the government and, you know, with Trump and everything, you know, how stupid that whole situation is. What a perfect time to read about other stupid people.
I'm going to need you to bleep that out for me.
Sorry, I was totally not paying attention to what you said because I was going on a little bit of a rant.
I said we don't speak that name in this household. I'm going to need you to go ahead and bleep that out.
Okay, fine. Orange Hitler. Anyway.
Orange Hitler.
If you want to keep up with this podcast, new episodes come out every Saturday. You know, check the description for all the socials and whatnot, and you know that all stuff. You know what it is by now. But with that, let's talk about some stupid people from r/AskReddit. All right, Kaylin. Before we start, and as you're furiously knitting away, before we read off these stories, who would you say, you know, excluding names, you know, to protect the maybe innocent,
to protect the stupid,
who's the stupidest person you've ever met, and is there a story to go along with it? Is there something you can think of that sums up their stupidity?
So, there was this human I went to cosmetology school with, and I don't know if she was joking. If she was joking, it wasn't funny. If she was serious, hilarious. So she would just say things before they came out. So one of the courses in the cosmetology school that I went to, one of the courses was like building your professional portfolio and like putting together a resume or whatever. For those of you who don't know, resume is spelled R-U-S... Just kidding.
R-E-S-U-M-E.
Yeah, R-E-S-U-M-E, okay?
Yeah, hypocrite. You don't even know how to spell resume.
So, you know, my instructor had, like, the things we were going to do for the day, so she was like, she had it written up on the whiteboard, so she was like, we're going to talk about putting together a portfolio, how you should put out, how you should, like, put yourself out on social media to, like, build a following a little bit in a professional setting. And because I went to school right when like Instagram influencers were kind of becoming a thing.
Oh yeah, like Instagram was already a thing.
Yeah, like
when
Instagram,
people started getting like basically making it their day job.
Yeah, so I went to school to do hair in 2013. So kind of right around that influencer era or whatever. So that was part of our thing. And underneath that, she wrote putting together a resume. Like how you should fill out a resume, like how it should look professional and whatever. Tell me why this girl, in the middle of our lunch break chat hour or whatever, as loud as she fucking can, says, "What the hell is a resume, and why do I need to know how to put one together for my job?" And when I tell you, the class went silent.
You did hear a pin drop.
And my instructor, bless her heart, looks up and says, "A what?" And this girl goes,
"What is a resume?"
The girl goes, "A resume. Like, what is a resume? Why do I have to, like, it's on the board, like, right underneath social media or whatever. It's putting together your resume." And my instructor looks at her and goes, "Resume."
And how did this girl react?
I don't even remember. It was so long ago. But I just remember looking at my friend in the class, and we were just looking at each other like, "Are you fucking serious?"
I think if I was that girl and I got corrected like that, I would just get up, pack my stuff, leave class, and never come back.
And like, I can't, because some people are like, because I can already hear some people being like, "Okay, well, they're spelled the same." Like, I can see, yeah, I totally see how she made that assumption. The problem is, we had talked at length that week about building our resumes. Like, it was not a surprise that we were doing this.
Like, you had plenty of the time and heard the word used correctly.
Right. And she just, like, she would do stuff like this all the time. She just like, okay, so we had a program that was like, if you hit a certain level, you got to become a designer student, and then if you hit the level above that, you got to become a master designer. Master designers got to wear color.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't just like the black, white, and gray that the regular students had. So I hit master designer because I fucking worked my ass off.
Yeah.
In school. So I walked in one day. It was in the spring. I was wearing cute little white, like, capri leggings, and I had like a checkered skirt that was like pink and blue and purple, and it was very springy, very Eastery, and then I had like a teal top or whatever. And she thought she was gonna get me because for whatever reason she didn't like me, and I was like, honestly, I don't care because I don't like you either.
Probably because you know how to spell what a resume is.
So she thought she was hot shit. She thought she was gonna get me or whatever. So she walks right up to the instructor and she was like, "You should send her home. She's out of dress code." And mind you, I had been a master. So you have like, there's like a ceremony at the end of the week for everybody who hits like designer, master designer. Mm-hmm. I had been a master designer student for like 2 months at this point. I just never wore color because I don't typically wear color. Like, my wardrobe at the time was mostly just black and white anyway.
Yeah.
And so she was like, "You have to send her home. She's out of dress code, like, blah, blah, blah." And my instructor was like, "No, I don't." Also, I had a big ass purple pin that said master designer on my, like, it was painfully obvious that I was like not out of dress code.
Yeah.
And I still had like my little smock thing on. So like, I was still doing what I was supposed to be doing. And she said it loud enough that like 4 or 5 people around her heard. And my instructor was like, "No, remember like 2 months ago when we had that huge ceremony for her and like 3 other people, their master designer?" Yeah,
even your instructor sounded like she was just done with her shit.
Yeah, so then the best part of this whole story is I didn't say anything because I was just wrapping my mannequin. I was wrapping a perm and I was just wrapping away, just chuckling to myself. And I hear somebody else who overheard go, "What a fucking moron." And I fucking cackled because I could tell, like, because this girl like didn't say much. She was kind of like, she's one of those like really quiet ones, but she's super funny when she does talk.
Yeah.
And I made eye contact with her and I could tell that she didn't mean to say it out loud. It just like slipped out of her mouth.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was like, seriously, like how far, and I don't know if it was stupidity necessarily or if she just had her head that far up her own ass.
Probably both.
But yeah, the resume thing.
That or just a heightened level of ignorance.
The resume thing and then trying to dress code me. I was just like, how have you not been hit by a bus?
See, I didn't even really think of any specific stupid people I deal with because I've dealt with so many. Like, I worked for a HOA. I worked at landscaping for an HOA So for the past 14 years, I've constantly dealt with stupid homeowners and, by extent, and also some stupid coworkers
I was
too.
gonna say you've worked
I was
with
gonna
some
say, if I had
humdingers.
$1 for every time I dealt with a fucking idiot, I could retire now at almost 32. When I think of stupid
Common
people,
sense.
I think of people that are just blatantly ignorant of their surroundings or just think they know better than they actually do. Or just people who just like have no common sense or like situational awareness whatsoever. And maybe we'll get some of those in the replies to this question. So the question from r/askreddit is, who's the stupidest person you've ever met, and what story perfectly sums up their stupidity? First off, Rusty Raider 111 says, an old coworker named James. We worked at McDonald's and we were both 16. One time, while mopping the lobby, he, for some unknown reason, decided to chase a number of customers around with the mop yelling, "I'm gonna get you." He was fired on the spot.
I'm gonna get you.
See, I mean, yeah, that's,
That's
very
amazing.
unprofessional, but that's funny as shit. Can you imagine just sitting in a McDonald's, just, enjoying your Big Mac or whatever, and then suddenly one of the employees just comes out of the back like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you. I'm the trash man.
I'm trash. I love that a 16-year-old looked at a mop and was like, I know what to do. That's so funny.
Like, he just had some weird idea going on in his head, and then he looked in like their maintenance closet, saw the mop, and was like, "Perfect."
Clearly, the parasites won out in
The
that.
parasites won on that.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I'm gonna get you.
Eponius says, my brother and I were in the kitchen one day as teenagers. My brother was filling the sink to wash dishes. When the sink was nearly full, he went to turn the tap off, but it wouldn't budge, so the water kept flowing. I tried turning it too, but with no success. This is when the panic set in. The level of the water was rising fast, and we didn't want to flood the kitchen. He took big saucepans out of the press to fill with water to keep things from overflowing.
Why would you not just pull the drain?
Well, I was in a frantic scramble under the sink trying to find the mains to turn it off there. So that's, well, there you go. They were trying to find the main shutoff underneath the sink. I couldn't find it. Now, really panicking, I took over the pot filling duty, and my brother went running off to look for Dad as quick as he could. Dad came running in with my brother while we were shouting at him about looking for the mains. Dad just came over to the sink and pulled the plug out of the hole, letting all the water down the drain. You know what's funny? I bet one of them put it in there and just forgot about it.
That's funny.
I mean, to be fair, even if that plug was in there to begin with, I can totally get behind them just not noticing it at first. Because it's one of those things that you don't even think about,
It was the first thing I thought about.
Well, it's one of those things like, if you're a kid or whatever, if you're a teenager, you're not going to think about, ooh, maybe I should check the sink for plugs.
Yeah, I suppose.
So, I did that in that sense.
That's so funny. I love the idea of the dad just being like, you fucking idiots. Just pulling the plug.
Just looking them dead in the eye and just be like, I just love the idea of, instead of being like, oh, we should check to see if the plug's in there, the two taters are just looking at their dad like,
We have to shut off the water main.
we gotta shut off water to the whole house. Or you just pull the plug. You fucking idiots.
That poor dad's probably like, this is my fucking legacy.
This is my legacy. Like, these are the future fathers of my grandchildren.
These fucking clowns.
Next we have Is That Your Hair? Saying, I've told this story before, but I like telling it because fuck Tammy.
Because fuck Tammy.
I had a boss named Tammy. One night, we were all working late doing stock take, and we were discussing the impending lunar eclipse. Someone asked what happens during an eclipse. Tammy grandly explained that the eclipse would occur when America went in front of the moon, blocking Australia's, view of it. Like, she literally thought the Earth stretched itself into like a U-bend or neck pillow shape, and half of it stayed in our normal orbit, and the other half stretched itself over and around to casually block the moon for the rest of the Earth. You know what's sad, though? I'm assuming Tammy is an adult. Like a full-on, like, mid-30s, maybe early 40s adult. Like, that's basic astronomy. That's stuff you learn in junior high. Hell, some kids learn it in 6th grade in elementary school. Like, 5th, 6th grade, I knew how eclipses work. I knew that, the moon goes in front of the sun, or the sun goes in front of the moon.
I'm sorry. She thought America blocked the sun?
I'm just imagining, you see the sun in the sky, and just in front of it, just red, white, and blue, just like
an eagle screech in the distance. Like, I've heard a lot of dumb shit, but that takes the cake. That's almost impressive to be that stupid.
Just instead of the sun, just in front of it is just red, white, blue, eagles and guns.
America, fuck yeah.
Oh my god.
That is some next level stupidity. My gasters have been flabbered.
Whee! Oh my god.
Yeah, man, the Earth stretches and the whole continent of North America blocks out the sun. You fucking idiot.
Chance Frey says, my roommate for the last 3 years once said that if solar technology keeps advancing at the rate it is, we will absorb all the energy made by the sun and fix global warming. Not 5 minutes later, after attempting to inform this poor fellow about how the sun's energy output is not determined by what the energy eventually interacts with, he states that wind farms are worse because they cause tropical storms.
You know how I said that last statement was the dumbest thing I've ever heard?
Yeah.
I'd like to correct that statement. First of all, that's not how wind farms work, my guy. Second of all, what? Oh my god, people are stupid.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I feel like Bob. Oh my god.
Oh my god, Linda. We got Dankmaster Reptilian.
First of all, sick ass username.
Dankmaster Reptilian. Had a guy in a third-year undergrad developmental psych course raise his hand in a full lecture hall and asked the professor, Professor, do infants diagnosed with SIDS get asthma later in life? Like, are they more likely to get asthma? SIDS stands for Sudden Infant Death Syndrome. He just kept pursuing the question. The professor didn't understand how she could answer it. She thought there was some kind of logic in it that she wasn't seeing. Finally, some girl took the initiative to shout across the room, no, they're not more likely to get asthma. They're dead. They've died suddenly, and will thus not be at risk of developing asthma. Great day. He always sat in front of me, and I would see him writing just absolutely horrible poetry and song lyrics.
Oh,
if they get SIDS, do they get asthma later in life? Like, no. Well, technically, no, they don't.
I was confusion because I was like, how does that correlate? But I was mixing up SIDS with and maybe it's the same thing. Maybe they've just changed the name of it. But shaken baby syndrome.
I've kind of heard that, but I've never really heard the specifics of it.
I don't have my phone on me, otherwise I'd look it up. But no, SIDS is like, I mean, it's in the name. It's fatal. Sudden infant death.
Do they get asthma later in life? I mean, no. Technically, the answer to that is no.
The really dark joke answer would be, there is no later in life.
Yeah, they don't get asthma because there is no later.
Right.
Oh my god.
Like, it's one of those things where you're like, I hope you're joking.
That's what I like about a lot of these. It's like somebody will say something completely just dumb and out of pocket, and I can imagine being in the room just looking at them like, did you really say what you just said?
First of all, you're not gonna blow past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Like, I've had plenty of those moments where somebody will say something stupid, and I look at them like, "Did you really just say what I just heard you say?"
Oh, I have a lot of those at work because this girl I work with tried to tell me that they're actually putting chemicals in the water that are actually turning frogs into hermaphrodites.
They're putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs gay.
Yeah, she's a trip.
Do you understand that?
Turn the freaking frogs gay.
Next reply here. Krista says, I'm half Korean going to high school in the Midwest during the 1992 LA riots. Wait, how you in... Oh, I suppose the LA riots were going on, but you were in the Midwest. Okay. I was like, wait, how can you be around the LA riots and be in the Midwest? Never mind. I'm the dumb one.
To be fair, I was like, wait, how could she be in LA? She just said she was in the Midwest. But I get it.
So it was going on. They were living in the Midwest, but that was going on, I suppose, for context. Anyway, half Korean going to high school in the Midwest during the 1992 LA riots. My typing teacher pulled me into the hallway and asked if I had an uncle or something I can call in LA to make the riots stop. She said she knew that we are all close and we all have stores and whatnot, therefore I must have a connection there. I was like, lady, even if I did have an uncle I could call, do you think he's Batman?
Do you think he's Batman?
So we got an idiot and a racist.
Correct.
Technically.
Although, when I was speaking of the 1992 LA riots, a friend of mine was living in LA at the time and went through some traumatic shit. And when he was telling me about it, he was like, I'm sure you remember the 1992 LA riots. And I was like, yes, this is an unfortunate time to tell you that you're 18 years older than me.
Ooh, here's a good one. So we got Deemt says, my high school classmate, whose name is Nick. We were in chemistry doing a lab practical, which required the use of a bulb pipette, a glass pipette with a removable bulb that you squeeze.
Mm-hmm.
Nick didn't know how to use the pipette, so he put his mouth to suck up sulfuric acid. It got about 3/4 of the way up before our teacher screamed, Nick, stop that right now! Like, my God. See, that's why I fear for most, like, stupid or ignorant people, because, like, if there isn't anybody around to stop them, a lot of these people will kill themselves. Oh, my God.
Also, if you don't know how to use something, just take the risk of looking dumb and ask for help. I would much rather be embarrassed because I asked a stupid question than be embarrassed because I almost accidentally killed myself.
Exactly. This seems like a good one to end off on. Pin the Awesome says, my cousin. All through public school, she was a snob who looked down on everyone. She was super stylish and struggled academically.
Oh, I love a stupidity story with added karmic justice.
We graduated in 2014. We both went to colleges, not the same one. She got a job at a bar, stayed out late drinking. Her boyfriend told her she didn't need to complete college, so she just stopped showing up. Didn't drop out, just stopped showing up. Completely flunked out. Here comes the mega stupidity. Her families lived hours away from her college at the time. Her family went to move her back home. My cousin's mom noticed a pile of clothes in the corner. My mom said, what's that, your laundry? Pack it and we'll wash it when we get home later. My cousin, I kid you not, you can wash those? Turns out, she's been throwing away clothes instead of washing them. She claimed she didn't know she could, yet she washed her undergarments and bras without a hitch. She's now at home with her family and has started doing more chores to show an increase in responsibility. She still tries to throw clothes away, citing that she didn't know they could be washed and reused. Makes me wonder what she thought all those years before college, before she left home. She wore some of the same outfits repeatedly. She had to have known they could be washed. What? I'm sorry. What?
I just...
See, I do a lot of stupid shit. I've never done anything that stupid, but I suddenly feel better about my intelligence.
No, see, your clothing crime is that you change 7 times a day, and you assume that it's dirty.
No, I'll have a folded piece of clothes. I'll have a folded shirt on the bed, and you throw it in the basket because you assume it's dirty.
No, because there are several different occasions where I have come out of the bedroom and I have said, hey, let's go to X store for whatever. And you go, okay, let me change first. Mind you, he has done nothing all day except for sit on the couch. And you will get up, go into our room, take your clothes off, put them in the basket, and change. And then when we come home, you will then change again and put the clothes you were wearing into the basket.
See, that's not because I'm stupid. That's because I have self-image problems.
Okay, but it was on your body for an hour. It's not dirty. And if it is, that's a whole nother problem. We go out for sushi and I fully dump soy sauce on my sweatshirt and I still don't put that shit in the basket.
See, that's an issue, not an ish me.
I'm gonna punch you right in your throat. How did you not know you could wash? That's just...
Like, how do you get through life not knowing how laundry works?
How did you grow up? What did you think your parents were doing when they were doing laundry?
What do you think that magical machine in that one part of your house was for?
Oh,
like, this to me screams privileged child.
I didn't know you could wash those.
Like, the parents never taught them about laundry, and they never bothered to ask or learn on their own.
Which makes me wonder if she truly did wear things more than once. Did she just was like, well, I like this outfit, so I'll just wear it again, and then I'll throw it away?
Did she do the teenager in a school locker room where they just douse themselves in cologne?
Yeah.
Which, that's another thing. If you're, hopefully teenagers, there's not many teenagers that listen to this, but if there are, word of advice, just do a little spritz.
A little bit of
Axe
cologne.
or whatever, or cologne. Just a little spritz. Just a little...
A little bit of it goes a long way, but let me tell you, as somebody of the opposite sex, your chocolate Axe body spray doesn't cover much. Now you just smell like BO and old crusty chocolate.
Yeah, exactly. And like the thing, like, don't douse yourself in it. Like, it's not a replacement for a shower.
Or like a full body deodorant, or just deodorant in general.
Like, even if you're like, oh, but I want to take a full shower. Like, nobody said you had to take a full shower. You can do a very quick one.
Just do a quick horse bath, pits, tits, and ass.
Like, you don't necessarily have to wash your hair, but you just, your pits, your schnumph and everything.
Like I just said, pits, tits, and ass.
Pits, tits, ass, taint. Important tip from Nerd Explosion. Wash your ass.
And by wash it, I mean actually get soap up in there. You can't just let the water run through and assume it's clean. That's not how that works.
What would definitely help is, investing in a bidet.
Or a scrub brush with a long handle.
You gotta be careful with that, because if you get one of those hard brushes, like, people are gonna start putting it in their ass. And, just the thought of a hard brush bristle right on your asshole.
Hey, it'll be clean.
I mean, some people might be into that. Who knows? Anyway.
We don't kink shame over here.
Calling people daddy is gross. Stop kink shaming me. Kink shaming is my kink. All right. I think that's a good place to end this off. What do you think? Do you feel better about your own intelligence?
I mean, I like to think I'm pretty intelligent in general, but yes, I do. I fear for the...
The hell did you just do?
I just stabbed my cuticle with my fingernail.
Good job, you idiot. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Well, the nails I have on are longer than the ones I'm used to. I never felt bad about my intelligence. I do feel better. I do fear for the future of humanity, though.
Yep, we're all gonna die in a fire, and most of the population is just gonna look at the meteor come towards Earth and be like, ooh, pretty colors.
Is that the Northern Lights?
Is that the Northern Light? As we all blow up in a fireball, a la the game over from Majora's Mask.
Oh god, they're gonna take us out like they did the dinosaurs. Nuke the lizards.
The most of the rest of us are gonna see that comment and just be like, thank God.
Honestly,
Sweet release.
I'm just convinced at this point we're in a simulation, and the simulation is slowly cracking. So,
All right. Well, this episode kind of ended on a dark turn. But anyway, that'll be this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and like seriously, stay safe out there. You know, no matter what you guys are doing. Like I know times are really tough right now, and you know I'm trying to stay optimistic, even though I gotta admit things are getting pretty sticky.
I'm not trying to be overly political, but I will say this, and I will say this with my full chest. Do not let some over-toasted fucking Cheeto tell you who you are or how you are allowed to live your life, okay? Fuck the government. Fuck this country. Do your bestie. Stay safe out there.
I've been Cameron.
I've been Kate.
And as always, we'll see you in the next one. Nerds out.